annihilate you verbally. I wasn't trying to humiliate you, make you, contemplate suicide.
How to the best of your knowledge, the movie painted it a certain way, but how did Jerry take the whole, the dissing of his people in the song?
He was pissed about that. That was real shit. That was real shit. Oh, he called him an anti-Semite, all kinds of stuff. He was really pissed behind that shit. Yeah, that was that hit home, and because that's a very sensitive situation. It's a very sensitive subject, and he took it very literally, and it's what it was, dude. It was very. I don't remember. Yeah, it was very tough for him. Okay, he wanted to call out all the stops, just like in the JDL, Anti Defamation League, blah 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 blah. Hey man, because he thought he had that, but again, he didn't realize, and that was one thing he didn't understand hip hop. If he really understood hip hop, he never would have let Cube go. He would have paid Cube. If he had understood hip hop, he would have paid Dre. He wouldn't let Dre go. But he understood rock and roll has a different pecking order than hip hop. In rock and roll, R&B, and maybe even country and western, the lead singer is the star, not in hip hop. Not always in hip hop. In hip hop, the DJ, the producer, became the star. The DJs and the writers became the star. The lyricist, Eazy was just a money man that recorded Ice Cube, that recorded the Ice Cube lyrics that Ice Cube wrote. Dre did the beat. You couldn't go find another producer like Dre at that time. Wasn't going to happen. So to let him get away was, he thought it was replaceable. And you can find people that make beats all day long, but it's a certain thing that you just can't replace. And as you can tell, it never was the same no more.
Yeah. Let's talk a little bit about something that Willie Mo brought up. He says we need something that differentiates the West Coast gangster genre or the electro funk genre. Electro funk is owned by LA. Look at Solar's catalog. Ironic that Death Row took over the Solar space. What can you tell us about Solar?
Man, Solar was the first record. It stands for Sounds of Los Angeles Records. It was like the first major label that blew up out of the West Coast. They had Dynasty. They had Fantastic Voyage. My boys. I'm having a brain fart. You know what I'm talking about.
Fantastic Voyage.
They had Lakeside. Yeah. They had Shalimar, and they were Dick Griffey had temporarily partnered up with Don Cornelius. So you got people that was on Soul Train, that was rocking on Solar, and it wasn't until some of the majors got wind of Don Cornelius having his own label till they had to pull some of the Solar acts back off of Soul Train. That was a big problem for them because when people want to control you and they see you have your own artists you push it, because Soul Train was as slow as it took off, it became the main source of breaking acts around the world. No, first nobody wanted to go on there, then all of a sudden everybody wanted to go on there. Once they realized they had and this is something that they've been doing to us for decades. Same thing with MTV. Same thing with the various award shows. In the beginning, oh, no. Oh, I'm sorry. I apologize. Come on down here. They didn't want to. Don Cornelius left Chicago, came to L.A., and it was tight for sponsors for a minute. And I remember my boy Good Fred. He was one of his main sponsors from Chicago. Good Fred Oil was a hair care product back in the 70s. Probably the first natural hair care product for naturals. No bullshit. But only had one problem. In the summertime, that shit turned your hair red in the motherfucker. Your shit would be you nigga looking Irish as fuck. Every summer, okay? You be looking Irish as fuck. And but he had a lock on Soul Train, and then Johnson and Johnson got hip to Soul Train, and they came up with the Afro Sheen, and the Afro Sheen didn't make your hair turn red, and they put a dent I put a real big dent in Good Fred business, because they tried to buy Good Fred wouldn't sell, and they tried to squeeze him out. They eventually shut him down. That's real talk. That's gangster shit right there. That's gangster.
Love that shit.
Okay, let me tell you about how much time we got. Tell you about Good Fred. Me and Good Fred was real. Good Fred only lived about 4 blocks from my house. Good Fred and Roger from Uncle Jam's Army lived on the same street. Good Fred's son, Daryl, walks with us every Sunday. That's one of my walking buddies every Sunday. Me and Good Fred was always cool, because Good Fred, he liked my vibe, because I work with Jeff D. They all partied at Jeff D's, and it was kind of an you the new kid type of situation. And me and Good Fred would sit out and talk at his office many a days. He told me the story about how when Johnson and Johnson offered him $3 million to buy his formula. Now, Good Fred, not only did he have a formula, he had his own factories. He had his own bottling and shipping department right there on 54th and Western. He mixed his shit right there. He mixed it, bottled it, did the labels, everything right there on 54th and Western, and sold that shit around the world. Okay, Johnson and Johnson, because again, Johnson and Johnson was a little slow on the natural tip. They still making perms and shit, perm kits, home perm kits or whatever. They want to get into the natural business. They came to Good Fred, told Good Fred, offered him a pile of money. Fred turned him down. Now, Fred said after all this time, him doing business with his manufacturers, all of a sudden, his credit lines got cut off. It's 2 things that made a Good Fred oil: water and glycerin. Glycerin, as in nitro. Okay, glycerin as in nitro. Okay, so when they cut Fred's lines off, Fred said he had to go to Canada to buy his glycerin, because they wouldn't sell to him in the United States. In Canada, don't give a damn. You got the money, I'll ship that shit. So Fred said when the glycerin showed up, so did the FBI. So did the FBI. The FBI wanted to know why again, this is the 70s. Black Panthers is everywhere. They've been blowing up shit. They've been fighting with the police. It's going down. The FBI wanted to know why a black man in Los Angeles